Hello 2025. We have some good and great news about the Knoxville real estate market going into 2025. This video, we're going to talk about two super exciting things. So let's dive in and get going. All right, so the Cliff Notes version is number one. Knoxville has been named one of the 10 real estate hotspots by the National Association of Realtors for 2025. So we're going to talk about what that means, what they're saying, what are the indicators that Knoxville is performing well in to be named in that top 10. And then number two, Knoxville has been named as a boutique market that's performing well within that category in the 2025 Emerging Trends in Real Estate report that's done annually for the past 46 years by Urban Land Institute and PricewaterhouseCoopers. So that being said, let's dive in and talk about what's going on. So first of all, let's talk, this is the more meaty of the two. So if you want the short version, this one is much shorter. So skip to the 2025 Emerging Trends, but let's talk about the report from the National Association of Realtors. So first of all, this is a report that the National Association of Realtors does every year. And essentially they're identifying areas and markets that are performing really well. So specifically what this means is, of course I put these in backwards order. Hold on. I want to read this directly to you. So you're like, what is this? I want to tell you exactly what this is. While real estate is inherently local, this is directly from this report. While real estate is inherently local, each year the National Association of Realtors, also called NAR, identifies markets expected to outperform based on key trends and metrics. While every year presents unique circumstances, the following 10 economic, demographic, and housing factors are anticipated to be influential in shaping the local housing market. So what they've done is taken 10 key indicators and then assessed all markets based on these 10 indicators. So the 10 indicators are as follows. Fewer locked-in homeowners than the national level. So about 76.1 of national homeowners have mortgage rate originations below 6%. So that's indicator number one. So if you're lower than 6%, if you have a higher percentage lower than 6%, that's good. Number two is average lower mortgage rates than national level. So if the national level is at 7%, if you have an average rate lower than 7%, or if your average rate is lower than 7%, that's a positive. That's a number two indicator. Number three, faster job growth than the national level. So this is from October 2019 to October 2024, national level at 5%. So if your job growth rate is higher than that, that's seen as a positive. Number four, more millennial renters who can afford to buy a home than the national level. So the national share of millennials who can afford to buy is 29.7%. So if you have a higher percentage of that, that's a positive indicator. Number five, higher net migration to population ratio than the average level. So net migration to the population rate is 0.5% as of 2023. So if your level was higher than that, that was basically seen as favorable. Number six indicator, more households reaching home buying age in the next 5 years than the national level. So 10%, this is the share of households reaching home buying age in the next 5 years nationally. So if you have a higher percentage of that, then that's seen favorable. Number seven, more movers who purchase homes than the national level. So the national level is 35.3%. So people moving somewhere, on average, 35.3% of those people are purchasing a home. So if you have a higher rate than that, that is seen as favorable. Number eight indicator, more homeowners surpassing the average length of tenure than the national level. So the average, I thought this was interesting because I've always been told 5 to 7, not true. Homeowners who have surpassed the average tenure, typically 16 years, are more likely to consider selling, increasing housing inventory. So 53.5% is the national share of homeowners that have surpassed the average 16-year rate. So if you have more than that, if more than 53% of your homeowners have been in their house 16 years or longer, that was seen as favorable. Number nine indicator, more inventory of starter homes than the national level. So a starter home is a house priced at 85% of the median priced home. So if you have essentially a higher share of affordable homes, according to that 85% of the median level, that is seen as favorable. And then number 10, faster home price appreciation than the national level. So this looked at quarter 3, 2019 to quarter 3, 2024. The national rate is 56.2%. So if your level of price appreciation was higher than that, that was seen as favorable. So 10 markets were chosen that pretty much performed high in 6 or more of these indicators. So that's how you even got on this hotspot list. So who were those? And then we're gonna talk specifically about the indicators that Knoxville is performing well in and what that means, why we care for us. So that being said, the 10 are, let me find my map. Nothing's going on over here. Just wanna say that. Just wanna make a general observation, not trying to throw shade. I'm just saying, we've got here, we've got like the eastern side, basically. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Anyways, not the point of this video. These are listed in alphabetical order. Boston, Cambridge, Newton, Massachusetts, New Hampshire area. That's number 1. Not number 1, but that's the first name by alphabet. Charlotte, Concord, Gastonia, North Carolina, South Carolina. Grand Rapids, Kentwood, Michigan. Greenville, Anderson, South Carolina. Hartford, East Hartford, Middleton, Connecticut. Indianapolis, Carmel, Anderson. I think you say Carmel. Carmel. I don't think it's Carmel, Indiana. I'm sorry, Indiana people. I think it's Carmel. I think I've heard that. Anyways, Indianapolis, Carmel, Anderson, Indiana. Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas, Knoxville, Tennessee. Phoenix, Mesa, and Chandler, Arizona. San Antonio and New Braunfels, Texas. So that being said, all of those, congratulations to you. They have been named 2025 hotspots. Now, let's talk about what we came here to do, which is talk about Knoxville and how amazing it is, and East Tennessee and why it's amazing. Oh my God. Okay. So Knoxville, I should say, performed well in 6 areas, which is one of the reasons why it got onto this hotspot list. So it did not perform higher than average than in every area, but again, in 6 indicators. So here's the 6 where Knoxville performed well. I don't know why. I would never, I'm a teacher, and I don't know why I have these all out of order constantly. I guess because I'm bouncing back and forth. Anyways, I hope it's not distracting. I probably brought your attention to it. You probably weren't distracted. That's a bad teacher move also. Anyways, okay. Number 1 place that Knoxville outperforms average is fewer locked-in homeowners than the national level. I was actually surprised by this. So again, those are areas with fewer locked-in homeowners with low mortgage rates from previous years that hesitate to sell and take on higher mortgage rates, creating a lock-in effect. So essentially, we have a less amount of homeowners that are locked in than the national average. So then the amount of homeowners nationally that are locked in that have a rate below 6%, a current mortgage rate from 2019 to 2023, that's 76.1% of homeowners nationally. Knoxville is at 74.7%. So we have less locked in homeowners because essentially we have homeowners that have a rate higher than that origination rate higher than that, kind of those crazy lows. So, I mean, basically what that is saying is that we have people more likely to sell their house. That's the Cliff Note version of that. So that's saying the market is more likely to show movement and people moving and more likely to transact because less people are locked in than the national average. Okay, the next indicator that Knoxville performs well in, and this is a great one, is job growth. So the national average is 5% from October 2019 to October 2024. 5%. Meanwhile, Knoxville is at 8.8%. Yeah, Knoxville. And here's why that's important. Job growth drives economic stability and income increases, which are key factors for home affordability. So I want to point that out. We have great job growth. Yes, we're going to see later about price appreciation, but the job growth should indicate that, yeah, we're seeing greater home affordability because we're seeing stability increase. Areas with faster job growth allow more people to set their sights into home ownership and further stimulate housing demand. So that's a positive thing. The third area that we did well in is And I think most people know this. If you're familiar with Knoxville in general, especially if you live here, you probably already know this, and it probably goes without saying. But the area we performed very well is higher net migration rate to population ratio than the average level. What that is, areas experiencing a strong influx of people also see increased demand for housing, as new residents require accommodations. New people coming in need a place to live. That's what that just said. This usually boosts activity in the area while also making home prices increase faster if supply doesn't increase with demand. So pros and cons. People coming in, people want to be here. That's great for the area. That is putting a push on more demand for housing. Now, 0.5% is the net migration to population ratio nationally. Knoxville is at 1.6%. So we have that higher net migration. That is one of the reasons why we have seen such price increase, but it's also a push for more supply of housing. So, okay, the next indicator where Knoxville is performing well, and again, this probably goes without saying, more movers who purchase homes than the national level. Now, yes, so what we saw in the last indicator that, yeah, people are moving here higher than average. So we need more places for them to stay, okay? But here's the thing. Not just because somebody has a lot of people moving in doesn't mean people are purchasing homes. But listen to this. The national percentage of people that are moving who purchase a house is at 35.3%. Meanwhile, the people moving to Knoxville, 48, almost 50%, 48.9% of those people are purchasing a home. Isn't that crazy? Now, why is that? Well, because rent's high, okay? And it's hard to find a place to rent. I don't know why that's making me giggle. Anyways, let me just read this and then I want to make a commentary. More movers who purchase homes than the national level. We have that, check. A higher share of movers choosing to purchase homes indicates long-term growth and stability for the local housing market. And I'm saying that like that because we have some people locally that are like, stop coming here. They're trolls, okay? It's like, no, people want to be here. It's a good thing, and it's good for us locally, okay? It indicates long-term growth and stability for our local housing market and market in general. While an influx of newcomers generally stimulates economic activity and boosts the housing market, those who choose to buy can bring even greater long-term benefits to the area. Their decision to invest in home ownership suggests people are there to stay, fostering a more stable and prosperous local market over time. I'm sorry, but if you don't think that's positive, then I don't know what to tell you, because that's good news. If you're a homeowner here, I'm a Knoxville native, okay? I grew up here. I was here in the East Tennessee area. I went to undergrad at Carson Newman in Jefferson City, just outside of Knoxville. Then I went and taught in Memphis. Then I went to Atlanta. I taught school in Atlanta. I got a master's degree. I worked internationally. I went to Ethiopia. I went to Liberia. I did all this stuff. Then I came back, right back to Knoxville. I never, ever wanted to live in Knoxville as an adult. I thought it was like podunk. There was nothing to do here. Why even? What's the point? Okay. And now I am so proud, in case you didn't notice, of Knoxville and the growth that we've seen and just all the amazing things that are happening, because Knoxville is a great place. And I just feel like we have a lot of people that are like, oh, I don't want more people coming here. But the thing is that people want to be here, and this is a stable place to move. And I say that because we have a lot of concern. Obviously, when you make a huge investment into a property, into a house, you're like, is this a good investment? But what this one indicator is telling us is 50% of people moving here they are buying a house. They are investing in the area. They are planting seeds. That is great. Okay. Let's move on. Number 9. The fifth area where Knoxville has performed higher or better than the national average is that more inventory of starter homes than the national level. So this indicator, I think, is a little like, because Knoxville's huge, okay? I think you might be able to hear my dryer going off, and I apologize. Knoxville's huge. So this indicator, this is one I'm not like, yeah, because I think it's a little bit like very area dependent. So the category is more inventory of starter homes than the national average. Starter homes typically priced at 85% of the median priced home are critical for first-time buyers. Areas with more starter home inventory provide greater accessibility for younger or lower income buyers, driving demand and creating a more affordable housing market. I would not necessarily describe Knoxville that way. Now, are there places where you can find that? Yes. But I wouldn't, this is one that I'm like, okay, so that being said, the national stat is that 38.9% is the share of starter owner occupied housing units nationally. Whereas Knoxville, 48% is our share of starter owner occupied housing. So we're saying that people are they're first time home buyers and they're gonna occupy the property. We're not talking about investment properties. We're talking about, we have this percentage that is ideal for starter homes and owner occupied houses. So that's 42%. So that's positive. I do think that one is I'm a little bit like, cool. It's less than the national average or more than the national average, which is great, but I think it's a little like, okay, number 10, it's the 10th indicator and it's one of the indicators we score well. It's our 6th and final one where we did very well on this, because the thing to get on this list was you needed to do well in at least 6 out of 10 of these areas, okay? So we do well in this area. Faster home price appreciation than the national level. Now I know some people are gonna be like, we don't want to do well in that level, right? But okay, this is what they said. This is what the report says, okay? It says faster price appreciation reflects a strong local housing market with increased demand, generating wealth for homeowners. That's good, okay? Attracting investment, that's good. And providing resources for community developments. Hello, those are all good things. Now, this is the part where you might want to go vomit, okay? And this is the part where Knoxville far outperforms every other city on this list, okay? Home price growth nationally, Q3 2019 to Q3 2024 is 56.2%. Knoxville essentially almost doubled, 91.9% price appreciation. So just for context, just look at that number, 56 national, 90.9. Okay, well, if you're like, oh, okay, I can dig it. Like, nobody else is even near that. Nobody else. 51, 72, 64. Is it showing up backwards for you? Probably it is. Okay, so I'm gonna read these to you. Boston, 51.5%. Charlotte, Concord, Gastonia, 72%. Grand Rapids, 64.4%. Greenville, 68.8%. Hartford, East Hartford, Connecticut, 62.8%. Indianapolis, 60%. Kansas City, 59.9%. Phoenix, 72.3%. San Antonio, 44.8%. I mean, Knoxville is like the king of that category. We're cheaper than a lot of places still, but I just think that's a little skewed. Like the price, I mean, maybe that's why I feel like it's skewed, because the prices have doubled. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna get off that train. So that being said, super cool, great things. If you're like, well, where did we perform the worst? The area where we have the lowest stats compared to anyone else is that share of households reaching homebuyer age in the next 5 years. So the national average on that was 10%. And again, if you're like, wait, what was that again? So the share of household reaching home buying age in the next 5 years. This is households in the 35 to 40 age group. They're a key demographic for home ownership. According to NAR's 2024 profile of home buyers and sellers, the typical first-time home buyer is 38 years old. Areas with a larger share of households entering this age bracket can expect stronger long-term demand for homes, affecting new construction and market stability. So the 10% is the average, and we are at 8.9%. Every other place, every other of the other 9 all did better than us, while the next closest is Hartford at 9.1%, but everybody else is actually above the national average. So just us and Hartford did not perform well on that. Share of millennial renters who can afford to rent a house, we're at 21.7. And so we're in the bottom 2 for that. Phoenix, Arizona is at 16.6. So those areas were, not as great. But that being said, overall, I think this is super positive. The indicator that I most think is like super indicative about this area is to say that nearly 50% of people moving here are purchasing a home. That says a lot. Yeah, it probably has also something to do with the amount of rentals available and the cost to rent. So you're weighing cost to rent versus cost to purchase and your mortgage. A lot of people are seeing that it makes more sense to purchase a home. But it would also indicate that if people are moving here, they mean to stay. Like it is a true relocation. Of all of the relocators that I've worked with, which is a lot, they went to Arizona. That is the super cool thing. Knoxville is a hotspot, which we are super excited about. So you can go check the report. We'll link it here for you if you just want to do that. If you have questions for me, give me a call. If you want me to expound on some of the things that I didn't necessarily go into great detail on, then please give me a shout, as always. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, the number 2 thing that I introed in this video was that Knoxville has been named a boutique market in this emerging trends in real estate report for 2025. So I just think this is very cool. So if you're like, what is the Knoxville market like? So in this report, several places, Chattanooga, Des Moines, Greenville, Knoxville, Omaha, and Portland in Maine were all named boutique markets in this emerging trends report. So what does that mean? These are smaller markets with lively downtowns. Yes, downtown. That's a reason why I'm so proud, because back in the day, downtown is not somewhere you went. You did not hang out there. There were not restaurants there. You did not go there, period. And now we go there all the time. And there are great stores and restaurants. Just everything. It's just awesome. Okay. And I just freaking love it. Okay. Because back in the day, there was like a Subway there. Okay. Anyways, these are smaller markets with lively downtowns, diversity in leisure, cultural, and natural outdoor amenities. Hello, Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Hello, Baker Creek Preserve. Hello, all the parks we have. Hello. We have so much outdoor stuff going on. Tennessee River, Forks of the River. We have Fort Loudon Lake. We've got Douglas Lake, Cherokee Lake, Norris Lake, Melton Hill, Fort Loudon. I'm probably repeating myself. I'm just telling you, hello, it's a great place to be. And stable economic bases that withstood the COVID-19 downturn better than many markets. Boom. These markets offer a lower cost of living and cost of doing business in a diverse range of settings, primarily non-coastal. Check, we're not on the coast. Again, that's where it says Chattanooga, Des Moines, Greenville, Knoxville, Omaha, and Portland, Maine. All of these places in a boutique market have populations less than 1 million and all maintain their previous positive in-migration. So people continue to move here during the pandemic, indicating that people want to be here, indicating the appeal of these towns. So, and 5 of these 7 earned higher overall scores this year, and one of those was Knoxville. So of these 7, the direct quote that they say is, both of these to me are great news, whether you are a Knoxville native or you're someone that's thinking of the Knoxville and East Tennessee area. And when you think about Knoxville, maybe you're thinking Maryville, maybe you're thinking Oak Ridge, maybe you're thinking Jefferson City, maybe you're thinking Seymour, Sevierville, Talbot, Kodak. All of those, Pigeon Forge is more touristy, okay? But all of these surrounding areas that are part of this Knox metro area, this is good and great news. So I just want to point out to you that while I know sometimes things seem bleak, and I know it's like, oh, the rates suck and prices suck, and look. That being said, yes, there are negative things happening. However, at the same time, Knoxville has a lot of positive things going in its direction. And like I said, I'm from here and I never wanted to live here. I remember when I was in Atlanta, I was like, I will never leave Atlanta. And then life brought me back here. I did not want to be here. I was about to turn 30. It's a whole long story. That being said, so much, even just when I came back in 2012 to the time of this video, 2024, almost 2025, so many great things have happened that it's just very exciting to see. So yes, I'm super proud of the Knoxville area. And no, you don't have to be a Vol fan to be here. I'm just telling you, obviously I am. I'm from here, okay? But congrats to Knoxville. Obviously, if you have not, I need to stop saying that, okay? If you have questions, you can always call or text me directly. You can email me. My information is everywhere. Of course, if you found this video helpful, would love to know if you have questions or videos that you want me to see or want me to create. Let me know, and always click subscribe because I have so much more to tell you. And of course, I am a real estate agent here, so if you need help finding a house and navigating the real estate process, relocating to the area, or if you're local and you have a house to sell, I got you. So that being said, I'm Haley Jones, and I'll see you on the next video.